Hi, my name's Steve. I'm the managing broker with Mesa Properties, and this video is to talk a little bit about pricing your rental property. A lot of people will do the most common thing probably, which is go on and do a web search, go to Zillow, and see what your rent Zestimate is. Sometimes that number's right on, but more times than not, that number's off relative to your individual market. Zillow takes an assumption that what it sees, maybe a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, certain square footage, looks at what's available and then figures out a price based on those number of variables with their algorithm. We really go into a more in-depth process, and that is looking at what inventory is currently available. Remember, you're not competing against a Zillow listing that maybe happened 6 months ago. You're competing against available rentals that are available in the next 30 days. So we take the time to try to figure out what's the current market condition and what other inventory are you going to be competing against. Every once in a while, you're going to get a house that's priced significantly below your house. And typically what we find, if it's a comparable property, is your house is not going to rent until that other house is taken off the market. So enough with that whole background. You can do your research yourself, and we'll do that as well to figure out what we think your property should rent for in the next 30 days. Now, the next thing is, what should be my overall pricing strategy? That's fine. Maybe Mesa's done some work and they've come back with a price, but I really think the property should be priced higher. I want to start maybe $300 or $400 over market. We actually see owners doing this with the attitude of then saying, I can always drop the price later. We found this to not be a very effective tool or strategy to price your property. Reason being is, if you price it high, when your property is fresh, just like if you're selling your home, it hits the MLS on one day. Everybody who's looking in the market is looking at that property and deciding, is it a good property? Is it a property I want to go take a look at? And is it priced competitively? If it's priced competitively, you're most likely going to get an offer very quickly. And that's the same thing with a rental property. If you're priced above market, people aren't going to look at it. And then when you finally, we call this death by 1,000 cuts, cut your price 2, 3, 4 times, you'll find that you're sitting on a vacancy for 45, 60 days or more, especially if it's a higher end property that is also overpriced. The next strategy that you can employ in pricing your property is price it right at the market. If the market is $1,900 on your property, go ahead and price it at $1,900. And that's an okay pricing strategy, especially if the market's tight and everybody's scrambling. And as of right now, when we're making this recording, that's pretty typical. The rental market is extremely tight, and you can go ahead and price it to market and find a pretty good tenant fairly quickly. The third strategy, and we really like this one the best, is to price your home just a little bit under market. If you price your home a little bit under market, it does a couple of things. Number one, a lot of people look at it. And number two, the savviest and strongest renters in the market are going to look at that property more seriously than another property. And so by giving a little bit up on the monthly rent, our experience has been that you're going to find a better qualified tenant that's going to take that property because they didn't get to be better qualified, having a high FICO score, having a good job, managing their money responsibly by just going out and buying the first thing that they saw. They, like you probably, are value shoppers. Not that they want to stay in the cheapest property possible, but they want to get a good deal relative to the market. So that's why going just a little bit below market is really the best pricing strategy you can have. So again, if you have any other questions, you can call us, you can call me directly, you can contact one of our sales folks, you can go on the website. We'd love to help you out in managing your rental property going forward. Thanks.